Hey y'all, welcome back to Shoot For. This is a show where we talk shooting jumpers and shooting for takedowns, but most importantly, we're just here to shoot
Shoot.
the shit. Yeah,
That's
man, I'm your
right.
co-host
Me,
Gabe, aka Boardman K. I'm here with Juho. How you doing, Juho?
Taekwondo Ho. Sorry, that's my real name. Just
Oh
letting
my
y'all
bad, I
know.
forgot.
Yeah, spooky season, baby. Woo! Halloween. How was everyone's Halloween? I know I had a good one. I was Jorgen von Strangle, from Fairly Odd Parents. So I put a military fatigues on. I had fairy wings, and I made a really cool wand prop. So I'm also taking it to the Ren Fair. Shout out to the Renaissance Fair if y'all ever go. But yeah, what about you guys? What'd y'all go as?
I was a banana. It was a pretty funny looking banana. I had some stains on it.
Yeah,
I had some battle scars, man,
multiple
some
battle
some
scars.
bruises. Yeah, it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was a ripe banana, but I got the job done. It was kind of a last minute Halloween costume, and I had that for a couple of years, so I had to throw that on. But wait, the fairy you were, that was like the swole one, like
Yeah,
the
the swole
Arnold
fairy.
Schwarzenegger type of thing.
Yep, yep. Like I had the whole German accent going on. I had aviator sunglasses, so it was pretty sick. Nick, what about you, man? I saw that you put on some makeup for your costume.
I was actually Ozzy Osbourne. Like
Oh, hell yeah.
I did a deep dive into my closet and I found an all black fit leather jacket and I have some Ozzy Osbourne looking glasses. Small round ones that
Oh, that's awesome.
kind of the ones that like I guess a blind person normally would wear. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it was pretty sick.
It hits different now that he's, up there.
Oh
So,
yeah.
R.I.P. Ozzy.
Yeah, he actually also had. We went out together, went to a bar, had a great time with some friends, but he had like a bat in his pocket and he was like biting the head off and stuff, just like Ozzy Osbourne
That's
did on stage that one
awesome.
time.
What? Oh my God, that's awesome. Wait. Wasn't the Punisher, the flavor spice head himself, John Martin's also present? What was
Yeah,
he
the
as?
executioner
Executioner,
from
yes.
from our like
Danny
fear
shots.
pong hot sauce video.
Hot
Y'all
sauce.
should go back and check that out. But he was there too. He was like a Viking. He looked kind of like Kratos Viking type
Okay,
of
nice,
hybrid. He
nice,
made
nice.
his own axe like out of foil and stuff. It was pretty sick.
That's awesome.
But yeah, we had a good
Um,
time.
I saw.
Uh,
Wait, really quick before we move on from the Halloween stuff. I saw that like y'all met like a Francis Ngannou type character.
oh yeah, in the Uber home. Yeah, we had a few drinks. We were celebrating. We went out and we're partying, and the Uber was a guy from Cameroon,
Uh-huh.
and we're all very we like to explore in terms of food options and drinks and all that. We like different types of flavor. We're asking him some questions about, oh, what kind of recommendations do you have for Cameroonian food? And
Oh,
the executioner John was like, oh, I really like coffee. What kind of coffee would you recommend? And he's like, oh, gotta try Cameroonian coffee. I personally had never heard of Cameroonian coffee, but he gave us
interesting.
some suggestions for that. And we were talking about Francis Ngannou for a little while. He wasn't actually related to him, but like he was like really hyped to have people in his car that he could talk to because it seemed like it had been a long night and he hadn't talked to
Yeah,
anybody.
that's
But yeah,
cool.
it was a pretty fun night. I hope everybody had a good Halloween. But
Absolutely.
anyways, moving forward, we have a little Halloween segment. We're gonna look at some of our favorite athletes in their Halloween costumes. Nick, what you got for us? So I think in our first picture, oh, what is this Conor McGregor, man? Looks like he's wearing like a
Is that his girl? Every time I see
is
Conor
that
McGregor now, I just think of that one like MMA Guru skit where he's like, "Don't come in here, D. Don't come in, yeah. You're gonna ruin everything, D." And like he's just like holding his dick up with a weight. Like I don't know, man. I just
yeah,
cannot take
that
this
was
guy
crazy.
seriously. Like the guy sent dick pics to like some IG model. Like how can he just like pose shamelessly with his girl like this? This is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. It must be some kind of agreement that, I mean, I don't think this was like a super recent picture. I think this was before all that. I mean, not all of these pictures are from this last Halloween. This is just some of our favorites, but
Oh, I see.
yeah,
Okay.
anyways. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see.
But I think he's still with this chick anyways. I don't know.
Got it. He is D Devlin. Shout out. Shout out. All right,
Yeah,
next
I don't
picture.
know.
Next picture.
I wouldn't want him to be my flight captain, man.
Hell no, man. Never.
Okay, next one.
All right, so now what picture do we got? Grant Williams in Batman gear.
Oh, I remember this one.
I really thought that was Stephen A. Smith, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Right.
Until I got a close up of it, I thought that was Stephen A. Smith in a Batman outfit.
Yeah, it does kind of look like Stephen A's chin a little bit, but I saw the Celtics logo like you mentioned. I got a better look at it. I remember this was so corny because like I think it was after a game. I don't remember exactly, but like it was like a post game conference, and I think they had won the game, and he was wearing a Batman costume, and he was like the fifth best player on the team. So everyone was clowning him online, like, "Bro, you're not Batman. You're not even Robin. You're probably like the Riddler or something off of the corner, man."
Bro's like Hawkman.
Like Hawkman. You're not even Nightwing, bro.
Is he in the NBA still? Last time
I don't know.
Mavericks? I don't remember.
I remember he was on the Mavs, and then he was on the Hornets. And I, haven't watched a ton of Hornets games the past couple of years because they've been trash. So I don't remember where he's at, even if he's in the league.
Yeah, I have no idea. So.
But that's a pretty funny one. What's the next picture you got for us, Nick?
Okay. We got the opposite of Batman here.
Oh, we got the Joker. Looks like Steven Adams and Westbrook. I think Westbrook is dressed like Steven Adams.
Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
That is a
Added
scary
some
guy.
tattoos. Yeah, I mean, bro, Steven Adams is a
Joker was
monster.
built like Steven Adams, that would legitimately be a supervillain. Like
that would be way scarier.
Fight Batman. Apparently,
Yeah,
I heard
know.
that, and maybe you know more than me, but Steven Adams like hunts like animals with nothing but a knife, like when he goes back home. Like
I think I heard that. I saw that quote, but I was like, I kind of had some doubts to that. If he does, that's pretty badass. But what are you hunting with just a knife?
It said wild boar. Like
okay, so he's getting his hands dirty down there. Shit,
that's metal, bro. If he actually
that's
does, alleged. It's all alleged. All right, next.
Oh, I remember this one too. This was Klay Thompson. He was dressed like Jackie Moon. What was that movie called? Was it called The Flint Tropics? I don't remember if that was the title of the movie, but
I have no idea.
It's like a Will Ferrell movie where he's like a basketball player. He's got a goofy like afro. It wasn't a very good movie, but I remember he did look pretty accurate in this costume. So I think that's probably the most accurate costume so far.
I mean, it's easy.
Let's just go to the next one. Nick. What you got?
Oh. Now
this one was sick.
Yeah, this one
Bro.
like, really took a lot of work, a lot of effort.
Oh yeah,
the whole makeup division.
Yeah, LeBron as Freddy Krueger, dude. That's sick. I mean, I think this has got to be when he went to L.A. He got the makeup artist and Hollywood hooked him up for this one. Damn, look at that. That's great. Okay, this is a different. Like, this is just there's levels to this.
That's like that's just impressive.
Wow. Okay, that's okay. I guess that's the new best one so far. Yeah. Whatever. Let's keep going. What you got next, Nick? Oh, this one. Yeah, this one actually I think is from this year. The Anthony Edwards Mr. Incredible one. I mean, he doesn't really he doesn't have the build to be Mr. Incredible, but he put that shit on.
It's kind of trash, honestly.
I mean, he looks fly, but he doesn't look like Mr. Incredible.
Yeah, I don't know about this one. This is out of all of them, this one's the worst one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's between this one and the Conor McGregor pilot one.
But he legit looks like a pilot. He looks like
yeah.
And this
guy, his wife is in there.
Like the furthest thing from a fucking Mr. Incredibles.
I don't know.
You
I
know
feel like
what?
this one is kind of lazy too, because it's just like a
Yeah,
you know, for like a normal person who doesn't have NBA money, they could pull this off, easier. But for someone in the NBA, someone as famous as Ant,
and he's trying to be too stylish. He's trying to be too stylish. Look at the shoes. Look at the face. Like the shades. Mr. Incredible would never have that kind of stuff on. So I feel like he's honestly like kind of insulting to Mr. Incredible with his design, and it's making me
he's
mad.
got he's got beef with Mr. Incredible now. You know what? Low key, Anthony Edwards should dress up as Hancock. Do you ever watch that movie, Gio?
Yeah. They have
I mean, these
similar
sunglasses. Yeah, these sunglasses he's wearing right now
the
kind of
swag
remind
is
me of
there.
that.
The swag is there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess I can somewhat appreciate that it's like, low effort, low budget, kind of like an average person could wear that. It's not like over the top like Braun, but anyways, let's go to the next one.
This one.
Oh,
Everything I said about laziness, I take back because this is awesome. And he
My
just has
God.
every ingredient on there. It looks like there's pineapple, mushrooms, pepperoni. Dude will eat it all.
Yeah, Derek Lewis, where you slice a pizza. Why does he look so sad though? He looks so depressed. Is he not like pineapple on his pizza?
Bro, I'll say this about Derek. Every time I see this guy, like, I'm one of the reasons I love him so much is because I'm always afraid he's gonna lose. So like when he wins, like I'm so happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's the type of guy I never have confidence in him, but like, you're not surprised when he knocks someone out. It's just like you're on edge the whole time. But anyways, this is a pretty funny costume here.
hold on, I feel
Yeah,
like
we got a couple
he
more
might
guys.
be. I feel like he might be sad because he can't eat that piece of pizza he's wearing.
Yeah, it's fake.
That's a good point. Okay,
All right.
next one. Oh, is that Frozone, the legend himself? Who do you think that is, Gio?
Dude, I might just be like, it's a little late when we're recording this, guys, so this is my late brain talking, but he kind of looks like Coach Jones from West University.
He kind of does, actually.
Who is
Okay,
that?
so like, this is kind of a trick one. This is Freddie Gibbs, the rapper.
Oh, okay.
Because like Freddie Gibbs, like people
Very far off. I was very far off.
people were in his comments for years saying he looks like Frozone, that they would just post that GIF or GIF, however you say it. That's
Yeah.
like, where's my super suit?
Super suit? Yeah.
Yeah, where's my super suit? Like, yeah. So if he finally he went out on stage dressed like Frozone, it was pretty funny. That was a legendary moment. Okay, we got two left, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see here. Oh my God. Is that Mr. Sean Strickland himself?
Dude, this one's
The
so-
Sean Strickland. This is crazy, dude. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
He's got the ice fit on, posted up
That is
outside of Home
scary.
Depot.
That's scary. That's scary. That's a real life scary.
Yeah, this is
That's
probably the
crazy.
scariest one of them all.
Is that his wife?
Maybe. I don't know what his wife looks like, but
Dude, I don't even think this is a costume.
he just joined ICE, bro.
He just took a picture. Yeah, he just happened to be on the 31st.
Yeah, he updated
like,
his
"Oh, it's
LinkedIn profile
Halloween?"
picture.
He's like, "Oh shit, it's Halloween." That's good.
Yeah, joined ICE, updated his LinkedIn profile picture. Wow.
Wow.
Okay, that's the scariest one so far. Last but
Crazy.
not least, what we got?
Oh,
Oh,
this is great.
honestly,
Great.
this one might just be the best overall. Look at that.
Johnny,
That's Johnny Walker.
literally looks like a Cro-Magnon Neanderthal. Like he doesn't even need the unibrow. Like he's just looks exactly like immediately looks like the pictures like an old school cartoon of a caveman. Like that's what this guy looks like.
This one is perfect. I mean, and the wife is shredded, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah.
You seeing that?
Yeah.
She looks like a, high protein hunter gatherer herself.
Yeah, definitely like a world record fruit and berry gatherer. For sure. Start a fire.
And the baby's cute too. The baby's cute too. So I'm gonna say that one wins.
Little eyebrows. Yeah. I like the great, honestly, wholesome family photo. Great idea. Great Halloween like fit. have no complaints here.
All right. Well, that was just a little fun segment we had, you know, just in the Halloween spirit. Again, hope everybody had a good time, stayed safe out there. We're recording right now. It's pretty late.
Before we move on, for
What's
the
up?
Halloween
What's up?
stuff, I never asked you guys. I'm very curious. What is your favorite Halloween candy? Like you're at the trick or treat, like
Ooh.
back in the day, and you're reaching into that bowl. What's your favorite? My favorite chocolate one would probably be Butterfingers. I'm a big Butterfinger guy. And then when it comes to like the chewy, fruity kind, Sour Patch Kids obviously is a big hit for me. And another one I really like are the chewy like gobstoppers or whatever, like the chewy. They're like these chewy like
Oh, really?
nerd kind of Wonka candies. I really like those.
Okay. Well, okay. This might be crazy. I like really don't like sweets. Like,
Oh yeah,
so
you
like
did. You did.
even as a kid, I didn't really like sweets that much, but if something had like peanuts or peanut butter, that would kind of like offset the sweetness. So I would go for like Reese's or
Classic.
like a peanut butter Snickers. Have you ever had a peanut butter Snickers?
Oh yeah,
Those are
those are
fire.
good, dude. Yeah. You're a big peanut butter
And
guy.
then yeah, peanuts and peanut butter, like with chocolate, that's
Yeah.
pretty good. I mean, another hot take, I really like dark chocolate.
Oh
So
yeah.
if I can, I mean, pause, but if I can get, if there's like dark chocolate, which there like rarely ever is, man, like dark chocolate is good. And you know what? One more I just thought of. Do you remember those like little like square, like Hershey's chunks that they would sell? They were like all packaged by themselves, not the Kisses, but like the little like rectangles.
Yeah.
And they had like the different kinds. The one that was
Special
like
dark.
those, yeah, the dark one with the almonds is good. And then there was like a Mr. Good bar, I'm pretty sure is what it was called. It was
Yeah, the
like just
peanut
milk
one.
chocolate with
With
peanuts. So yeah, I guess
Okay,
you know
so
the
you're a
stuff
big-
that had
you're just
peanuts. I like.
anything peanut, you're a sucker for. It sounds like.
Those are the only ones I would get. But
Yeah.
like, you know, I would just like take my bag of candy to school the next day and, you know, trade it like contraband to get other stuff that I wanted from, you know, my friends, like pens
yeah.
and shit.
All right. Nice. Nick, what about
So-
you, man?
Oh, dude, I was definitely a Kit Kat guy, but if you knew where to go, the right houses to go to, you could find yourself a fucking Snickers, and that was like hitting the gold mine on Halloween night. Getting a full
With the
bar
big one, right?
Snickers, yes,
Yeah.
those are the best.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Well, it looks like the Caviani boys are a big fan of chocolate. But okay, pause. Major pause. Let's move on to the actual segment. Sorry, Gabe. What were you saying?
Okay, so yeah, I mean, the Rockets just played the Mavs. Like the game just ended. Like within the last hour, we hopped on a call. We wanted to start out live with some Halloween stuff, but that Rockets game came down to the wire, man. We barely squeaked out that win. I was really impressed with how the Mavs played because, like, you know, they're obviously shorthanded without Kyrie Irving, who's going to be out the majority of the season, but also Anthony Davis just went down with an injury. Derek Lively just went. He did, yeah, a couple games ago. And Derek Lively went out with an injury, and Dante Exum is out. So, like, pretty much like their two best post defenders and their best wing defender and Dante Exum all got injured. So, I thought it was going to be an easy win. I think the Rockets expected it to be an easy win as well, but the Mavs were very active, swiping at the ball, keeping a low center of gravity, making the Rockets rethink every dribble, every post up, every pass. So they forced, you know, the Houston to actually lock into this game. It took them until like bottom of the second quarter and going into the second half to really find their rhythm. They were clamping us down for the most part, but you know, Rockets with the oversized lineups and the rebounding advantage that they have, they were able to keep it close throughout the game. Rockets ended up squeaking out the win, like I said, man. Man Thompson had 20 points in the first half. He slowed down in the second half. He only had like 7 points or so. Durant, I believe, had like 25 plus, but he was playing very slow. Didn't seem like he was really pushing the action at all. Anyways, man, the Rockets, they were, I think, on a 3-game win streak going into this. It was looking like we might actually drop the ball on this one. Ended up winning. Rockets lost their first 2 games. Now we're on a 4-game win streak. I'm really excited to see how the Rockets pick up the pace as we continue going. We were actually leading the NBA in 3-point field goal percentage up until this game. Tonight we only shot like 26% or less. So that's kind of coming back to reality. We don't have a ton of snipers on the court, so that's going to be tough to maintain the rest of the season. We were also number
Yeah, I
one
was
in
gonna say,
overall
interestingly,
scoring.
right now, interestingly, we're number one in offense, but our defense has been lacking a little bit, which is
Yeah,
what I thought would happen with an Ime run team. But even with that number one rated offense, we still have a lot. I feel like that's considered low hanging fruit that we can like really achieve with just chemistry and playing together. So,
yeah.
Gabe, what do you see? Like, I guess this is kind of where we can start coming into the segment of like the NBA. Like, guys, I guess like with the theme of Halloween, we're kind of getting into like unexpected or I guess spooky controversies. Just surprises around the league in the NBA. So just starting with the Rockets, like we have really good offense, but like you mentioned, we also are missing some pieces to make that more cohesive. And it does feel like Dylan Brooks was a bigger impact player on defense than I originally thought as well. And missing him, like definitely caused a bigger hole. I feel like with the defensive chemistry, but I might be, reading too much into it. What are you thinking about that?
Well, okay, I'll tell you this. So Dylan Brooks, I believe, was like top 5 in fouls last year, and the Rockets have dropped down significantly in opponents' free throws attempted every game since we moved on from Dylan Brooks.
Oh wow.
Also, Fred VanVleet. He's a very good perimeter point guard. He on defense he could guard pretty much any guard that's not like over 6'5". Like does a really good job of getting the passing lane, swiping at the ball, forcing turnovers, getting steals,
He's
starting the
strong.
fast break. He's strong, and he's got low center of gravity, short arms, so he can really get into the dribble pocket pretty easily. And honestly, when Fred got blown by, because he's not like the fastest player in the league, and he's also short, like I mentioned, he would just foul a lot too. So not having Brooks or Fred, because Fred is injured, our fouls are just down across the board. And I think as of right now, the Rockets are actually leading the NBA in free throws attempted as well. So even though our defense overall, like for like defensive rating, is not the best right now, we're going to even that out as the season goes on. We're the number one offensive rebounding team, which is not to be unexpected. So I'm not that worried about our defense being so low as of right now. Our offense will also not stay number one in the NBA because, like, again, we only scored like 109 points tonight or so. So yeah, I mean, we're going to even out. I mean, Ime Udoka, I'm sure didn't expect us to be this lights out. It's, this early in the season. Again, we're only like 6 games in, so low sample size, small sample size, and it's only going up from here. 4-game win streak.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Rockets, as being my favorite team, have a lot going for us. I'm super excited for the future. I feel like a lot of what we have is just chemistry related problems more than anything, like personnel wise. Okogi's been a great pickup. But, we have other things to talk about, other fish to fry with the NBA. I wanted to start with some surprises and then some shocks. So for me, before I pass it on to the main analyst, Gabe, is the Chicago Bulls has been a really fun surprise. Josh Giddey looks like a bona fide star right now. And then on the other hand, we got guys like the Orlando Magic who aren't doing very well, who have been more disappointing. And then you just got the normal, just awful people like the Pelicans and the Nets. Everyone expected them to be awful, so that's why I'm
Right.
not really like putting them in this like unexpected list because everyone thought they'd be bad. But yeah, I would like to know more about that the MVP race, Gabe. Just fill us in on some unexpected stuff that's been going on, man.
Yeah, I've been really excited watching. There's 3 teams. Obviously, I'm watching the Rockets, so that's like my favorite team to watch right now. The Bulls, I've been really excited. You mentioned them. Josh Giddey's playing like an all-star. Will he make all-star by February? We'll see. He's gotten multiple triple doubles already. His efficiency is going up in terms of field goal percentage. And Matas Buzelis is playing well. They acquired Trey Jones, who's one of the better assist to turnover point guards in the NBA. He always plays well and protects the ball. Nikola Vucevic is playing great as a catch and shoot type of center, and he's rebounding. He's not the best on defense. Their whole team as a whole is not the best on defense. They've had a couple injuries, and they still started out 5-0. Ayo Dosunmu, he was out in their last game and the loss to New York in Madison Square Garden. but they played pretty well. I mean, at the end of the game, they kind of like lost hope, and you could tell the momentum just totally went New York's way. But I think Chicago just playing in like that type of elevated atmosphere in MSG, like it shook them. I mean, they are a relatively young team outside of Nikola Vucevic. They're still figuring things out. I don't sleep on the Bulls. I mean, they play really fast. I mean, I told you about the Rockets, the Heat, and the Bulls being three teams I've been watching a lot. All three of those teams play fast, but they play fast in different ways. The Rockets, they play fast by getting down the court and shooting shots wherever they're at because they know they have a good chance of getting the offensive rebound, getting a quick tip in, getting fouled, putting the shot back up. So they play fast that way. The Bulls play fast by starting off the inbounds. They pass, they blast down the court, pause, and they pass to open shooters, and they shoot like a shot within like 12 seconds typically. The Heat are another team that's really interesting. They're only 3-3 right now. I think that's primarily because of the bigs that they have. You can only rely on them so much. I mean, obviously we know Bam Adebayo is a guy who's made All-Star before, one of the premier defenders in the league. He actually clamped up Victor Wembanyama for the most part, gave the Spurs their first loss of the season. So anyways, the Heat, they have Bam Adebayo and Khalil Ware, and that's really it for the center position. Khalil Ware gets bullied by stronger defenders. Bam Adebayo sometimes has problems guarding taller defenders, but he uses his speed to his advantage there. The key point with the Heat that I wanted to make is they're essentially like totally abandoning the pick and roll. I don't know if you've noticed this, Juho, but in a game against the Memphis Grizzlies, the Grizzlies almost set like 200 screens for the game. The Heat only set 9 screens.
Wow.
The whole game. And that's really interesting. Like I've at any like level of organized basketball other than like Chino Hills with LaMelo Ball when he was in high school and he was just cherry picking, I've never really seen anybody play this style of offense. And Eric Spoelstra, you know, he's a very unique coach, one of the best coaches in the game right now. He's still young. I think he's going to be one of the top wins teams ever. Anyways, what the Heat do? They pass the ball up and they just shoot the three. They shoot the layup. They do backdoor cuts. They don't do screens at all. So they take out that 5 to 8 second chunk of time where the point guard is dribbling the ball up. The center comes, sets a screen. Sometimes the point guard resets, sets another screen. They canceled that. They took it out of their game. It's pretty crazy. And I don't know if I'm going to say it's winning basketball as of right now. The Heat do have some serious holes. They don't have a ton of depth, especially at the center position, like I said. So we'll have to keep an eye on them. Obviously, the East, you know, that 5 to 10 spot as of right now is kind of weak. I don't think like the teams like the Raptors or like the Hornets or the Magic or the Hawks are like super reliable right now. But by the end of the year, that like 5 through 8 spot for the playoffs will be interesting. So you guys keep an eye on those 3 teams that I mentioned, please. The Rockets, Bulls, and Heat. They play interesting, fast-paced basketball.
All right. Well, there you guys go. We got a little bit of some insider knowledge. Last segment in basketball, guys, we're going to go over is the recent allegations of gambling and corruption in the NBA. I'd like to start this off by just saying that I think gambling is just running rampant in sports. Like, it's going nuts. You know, I feel like a long time people thought that having a lot of money given to players would be enough to compensate for like not having gambling problems. But, you know, Terry Rozier was making $80 million. That dude was rich no matter what. He was making generational wealth, and he still was caught up in this. So now we're seeing, and we'll get this more into this later too with MMA as well, but we're seeing like sports betting really color like fans' perspectives on officiating, on the players' performances, right? And like rightfully so. And like I think this is not just NBA, but this is happening all over. You know, the parlay memes. You know, people like talking about how they're throwing games, right, just to like make some money on the side. It's fixed, you know, like organization stuff. Like, you know, even like as what do you call it? Crazy as it sounds, right? As like what's the word? Like when what's like a theory like that people have that
Conspiracy.
conspiracy theory is like with like
Yeah.
the Luca Anthony Davis trade, right? And then all of a sudden the Mavs got Cooper flagged. Like what? Like that's so crazy that like I'm not gonna say that that's like staged, but people can now like start really looking super suspicious about it, right? So I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on it. Where I think sports betting is getting completely out of hand. There needs to be a lot more checks and balances, and it just can't be so, you know, rampant. I think because it's really affecting this, and it's this is unprecedented. We've never had sports betting this popular and this widespread, right?
Yeah, and I mean, we don't really know totally how far this like sports betting conspiracy or whatever we're going to call it goes. Like Jonte Porter, who was the brother of Michael Porter Jr., who was on the Brooklyn Nets, like he got banned from the NBA permanently or indefinitely is maybe the better word, because like he was giving insider information to friends and they were putting money down on his games and he was like missing shots on purpose. He was faking an injury and he benched himself, things like that. I mean, Terry Porter, or no, Scary Terry Rozier. He's making $23 million a year, and now he's caught up in this gambling scheme. To what extent does it go? Again, we don't know. The FBI is currently investigating. We're going to get more information as the trial goes on. I'm hearing rumors that like end of December, middle of January is when we're going to start hearing more about this indictment. We on NBA opening night, the coach of the Portland Trailblazers, Chauncey Billups, got arrested. He was supposedly associated with some mafia-led poker games and high-stakes gambling. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. The NBA has not really like put out a ton of statements about this, but they will cover more of the information that comes out. And when that does, I'll be here to explain that to you guys. So y'all subscribe and be on the lookout for that. That's coming up very soon. I don't know what the fix is. I don't know. I mean, how do you really accurately say somebody was giving another person information that was considered insider trading? Because the Terry Rozier situation, it's like there were some awkward looking possessions and specific games that he had where it seems like he threw the ball and he started running back to play defense like he knew the ball was going to the defender, and like it looked like he was strange, like he was like forcing shots that were like wide open, and it seemed like he was forcing them to be air balls. So was he intentionally, missing these shots, forcing turnovers, whatever? I don't know. There's more information coming out. Again, I'll cover it later.
I think that there's only two things you could do. Number one, ban all like betting apps so that people just can't do it. That's not going to happen. These apps are making way too much money. Money talks. They're going to have lawyers. They're not going to be able to just shut it down. Number two, this is more reasonable, but not very, is if they get caught, like Terry Rozier is charged guilty for gambling and racketeering, and same with Chauncey Billups, you give them 2 decades in prison. And then guess what? A lot of people will take a second thought about doing something like that because the punishment's going to be draconian, right? Like if you're going to try fixing gambling at this high of a level, stealing millions from people, you can go to jail for 2 decades, right? And then you have to set that precedent. You have to set that standard because if they get away with the scot free, then it's just going to keep happening. Because why wouldn't you, right? If all you get is a slap on the wrist and a fine, you're just going to keep doing it and finding different ways to do it. The only way to stop it is to say, hey, you guys get caught. Yeah, you're right. Maybe we can't stop you from doing it. But if we catch you, you're guilty for it. That's a very severe penalty.
Yeah, I mean definitely like scaring them off by like dropping the hammer, being real harsh about the penalties. That would definitely make people not want to do it. But I think something else you could do. I mean, obviously, the NBA has had partnerships with ESPN Bet and all these different sports books and everything. There's even like a separate broadcast that's an ESPN Bet broadcast. So they've gone to certain extents to like encourage players encourage fans to bet on the games. But what if they got rid of prop betting, like parlays? Like, you know what a prop bet is, Juho? It's a propositional bet. So it's pretty much just like they'll have a stat. It's like 8.5 rebounds, higher or lower. maybe you get rid of those type of bets and you only have like specific bets, which are not legal across the United States yet. Only in specific states those are legal. So does that help entirely? Maybe not, but like having these laid out stats that are, predetermined, those are types of things that fans are like, oh, I think he's going to get 9 rebounds. I think he's going to get 7 rebounds. Let me go lower. If you don't have that, then like maybe it's more like you have to specifically know what you're betting on. And maybe that leads to more thoughtful betting. I don't know if that fixes the problem, though.
I mean, I think there's something has to be done. I think these are all good ideas, and I think what we're going to see is something is going to change, because I think we got to a tipping point. Like everyone and their mom on YouTube was a DraftKings or a MyBookie or whatever kind of betting sponsorship, right? They were just throwing money at these people. So I mean, we're gonna see some kind of change. Anyway, I mean, I think that's good for the basketball segment. Gabe, did you want to add anything before we wrap it up?
I mean, not really. I don't want to get too into it. I mean, again, you'll have to tune in next episode to hear more NBA content. The second half of our show is always about MMA and the UFC. We never even talked about Ciryl Gane versus Tom Aspinall, UFC 321. I mean, we had a little bit of a hiatus. We were real depressed after that Ciryl Gane eye poke incident, man.
Like
I mean,
everyone else.
everyone was. I mean, it's a heavyweight championship, man. It's like the two baddest guys in the UFC, the two unstoppable forces are going at each other. Exactly. Like those are the big time fights. Those are the real money makers. Like those are the guys you need to see. And those are the fights the fans are craving. And it was looking like a great fight to start. Ciryl Gane was keeping his distance, and he was going inside out, switching his stances, chopping the leg, throwing some interesting punches and jabs, and it looked like he was beating Tom Aspinall slightly. I mean, just by a few strikes, he was winning. It's not like he was like miles ahead of Tom Aspinall, but Aspinall had never gotten pushed to 4.5 minutes. He never gotten pushed to almost a second round, and then Gane has his hand out and pokes him both eyes. I was so disappointed, man. I just literally like screamed, and like then I was silent for like 30 minutes, and like it was like the day before my birthday and everything, man. I've been looking forward to that fight for months.
Yeah, and Gabe's a huge Ciryl Gane fan, and like we were all talking, and on the record too. Like Gabe, if you check out our video, he's very much defending Ciryl Gane. So everyone was counting Ciryl out. Gabe wasn't, and that's why it really stung more for him than anyone else. I know he was really looking forward to it. I agree with him that Ciryl was winning the fight, but people online who are just saying like, "Oh, Ciryl would have won that," or he was dominating, are out of their freaking minds. Tom got a lot of strikes in. I think Ciryl was only up 2 strikes actually by the end of that. It's just because we've seen Tom in like such a dominant cruise control mode that any adversity at all just makes it look, like he's human. But anyway, the eye poke is an eye poke. We got another one that happened, but we'll get to that on the next segment, guys.
Well, man, I just wanted to give y'all, hold on, I just want to give y'all one more quick update. I mean, Tom Aspinall apparently still isn't able to see out of one of his eyes. I'm not sure which one. I think it's his right eye. Like 3 days after the fight, we got an update from Tom Aspinall's dad saying that they got it checked out by medical professionals and eye surgeons, and they're saying that there's no like bone damage or anything, but obviously we didn't expect that. Though it didn't look like he got cracked in his orbital or anything, where the point where that would be a concern. But apparently he still can't see out of that eye. I'm really hoping he didn't lose his eye, because that's no one wants to lose an eye. I mean, obviously that's crazy. That's like that's one of your key senses, man. Especially for any sport, you have to be able to see. So that would be tragic if he isn't able to see out of that eye permanently.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we don't know. Only Tom knows at this point, and we will wish him the best. And as soon as he can see it, he didn't take any other damage in that fight, really. So hopefully on the Paramount card in January, we'll see him right away, settle that beef once and for all. And now it's going to be a bigger fight than ever. I bet you that the odds are going to be much, much different. Probably a lot more even. Probably still Tom is a favorite, but it'll be a lot closer.
Yeah, I totally agree.
All right, guys. Well, we will get into more MMA news and controversies in this spooky Halloween season. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the Shoot For It podcast. We just talked a lot about NBA controversies, y'all, but we're moving into the MMA stuff, specifically controversies. Also, a lot of controversies going on in the spooky season, as we know. But Gabe, I mean, you mentioned in the previous segment the Ciryl Gane, Tom Aspinall situation, and pretty much went down the worst way possible for both fighters. Now Tom looks like he chickened out, as a lot of people, not not us, but a lot of people think. And then a lot of people are highlighting that Ciryl Gane's being a dirty cheat. So worst way possible it could have went down, but man, we got another eye poke. This last fight card, Onama versus Garcia. In the heavyweight division, we had Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Anton Delia. Delia just beaten, I believe, the Polish man himself, the epic wall breaker. What's his freaking name? Tybura, Martin Tybura, the ultimate
Yeah.
heavyweight gatekeeper. And he had knocked him out, and also Tom Aspinall's partner, training partner. And in that fight, it was actually pretty even going in. Anton is actually pretty light heavyweight. I'm putting a pause there. He's not a light heavyweight. He's a lighter heavyweight. He's only about only about 234, 235 pounds, which in the heavyweight division is very small. Waldo outweighed him by I think 20 pounds actually in that fight. But that's neither here nor there. We want to get onto the eye poke. So this was definitely, as they say, unintentional. We got to get that wording out. But Anton Delia didn't, intentionally poke him in the eye. It was actually very hard to see. They actually stopped the fight. Daniel Cormier said later in interview that they were like, "Yeah, we can't continue the fight. We just stopped the fight." But then here they go. They were continuing the fight. He even almost went into the ring to interview Anton. And then about 25 seconds after Waldo said he could fight, he knocks out Anton Delia and immediately crumbles onto the ground in pain, like he's like grasping his eye. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
saw that.
insanely a wild situation that happened. Another eye poke. So I just wanted to go more in depth into this situation with you guys before moving on to the other MMA stuff. Like, what can we do about fouls? What can we do about illegal shots? Just quickly giving my 2 cents before I bring it back to Gabe and super producer Nick. I truly think that these fouls should not matter whether they're unintentional or not, right? And in any other sport, let's just go to the NBA. You set an illegal screen, you goaltend. Those guys didn't mean to do that. Why would you mean to, set an illegal screen or goaltend if you're trying to win a game, right? No, a lot of times it is unintentional. Maybe, yeah, they are trying to be dirty sometimes, but it doesn't matter. That foul needs to be treated the same way, whether it was unintentional or not. A foul is a foul. So I was really doing some thinking about this. Obviously, like as the rules are right now, unintentionality does matter in MMA, but I think there needs to be just a better scoring system in general. There needs to be a complete overhaul in the system because taking a whole point for a foul also isn't normal in sports, right? Because in UFC, taking a point means that you lost the entire round. As a severe penalty. In basketball, for example, the fouls, based on how hard they are, have levels and varying degrees of punishment. So, if, like a technical foul versus a flagrant foul, they all have different kinds of penalties attached to them. I think MMA needs to be considered very similarly, where eye pokes are very damaging to the fight. Maybe keep that, point warning there, or so not a warning, just taking a point immediately. But maybe for a groin shot, for example, where if it's a little bit easier to be carrying on through the fight and not as compromised, maybe the penalties a little bit less, or like cage stalling or fence grabbing, things like this, where like maybe we need to just overhaul the scoring system where it's not just a 10-9 system, and we can play around more with the fouls and apply the appropriate degrees of punishment to them.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know how exactly you fix this. I mean, obviously, you mentioned like in any other sport. I mean, I can't think of another sport where it matters if the foul is intentional or not. Like in football, it doesn't matter if you're holding intentionally or unintentionally. Like you're still gonna get a penalty. Like, I don't understand why it matters in the UFC. That's something so strange, especially when it's like something like an eye poke or a groin shot or like a strike to the back of the head, where it could literally like alter their career by harming them long term physically. Again, I don't really know how to fix this issue. You were saying maybe we alter the scoring system round by round. What if there was some kind of thing similar to basketball where if you foul one time, right? Doesn't matter if it's intentional or not, you immediately go into like the bonus. Like in basketball, for example, it's like, you have 5 team fouls every quarter. If you exceed 5 team fouls, then it's automatic free throws for the opponent every single time. What if, you have one chance to have, an unintentional penalty, and then any other unintentional thing is either points taken or money taken off of the contract for your fight. If you show up, there's a lot of guys who get like guaranteed money. If you win, it doubles the money. Maybe like it takes away the guaranteed money, and then you have to win. I don't know. There's something has to be done. It's also really strange to me how like different referees will consider different penalties, intentional or unintentional. That's something that needs to be more consistent. The UFC really needs to clean up that aspect of the officiating. But yeah, man, it's so strange. We've seen a lot of like below the belt strikes, a lot of eye pokes, and a few, not as many, but like a few back of the head strikes. Are those types of like illegal strikes as bad as grabbing the fence? Maybe not, but they're still fouls at the end of the day. I don't know, man. I mean, besides that, I don't really have anything else to comment on that besides something needs to be done.
All right.
Yeah, I mean,
got some stuff I want to say about this. Okay?
Oh yeah, please, Nick, please go ahead, please.
I think y'all are comparing this to like fouls and shit in other sports and whatnot. But I think this is like something that needs to be treated differently, because these fouls that happen in other sports, they're not as dangerous as the fouls that happen in UFC. You get poked in the eye one time really bad, you could lose that eye or both eyes. You get kneed really bad, in the groin area, that could have some severe, medical effects. You get punched in the back of the head. I mean, I'm blanking on this dude's name, but I remember this one guy, he got punched back in the head, years ago, and now he's like, he has to live in like a special care home. So in this instance, I think the punishments need to be immediate and severe to prevent this from ever happening, even just once. I remember Juho, you said it maybe like in an episode or two ago, where if someone pokes someone in the eye in UFC, immediately dock a point. If it happens again, I think it needs to be more severe. They immediately lose the game, and if it happens again, or along those lines, they immediately lose the game, and then they don't get paid for that fight. Like, I know it's severe, but like, these fouls are dangerous, and they need to be dealt with accordingly.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with everything you just said. I mean, these fouls are a lot more dangerous because it's fighting, and I think because it's fighting right now, people treat these fighters like barbarians and warriors and like beasts, and like if they don't continue, then it's the onus is on them, right? So that's why like a lot of fighters right now, I think as Nick was just saying, the refereeing is way too lax. The referees always say like we don't want to get involved, we don't want to get involved. Okay, well your job is to get involved and officiate. It is a sport at the end of the day. It's not just a fight, right? Like this is a sport and it has to be regulated and officiated accordingly. And yeah, I think the punishments need to be very draconian. And especially in the case of like an eye poke, if a fighter can't continue after an eye poke, it just needs to be disqualification on the other guy at that point, right? Like if we go to the Ciryl Gane fight, that honestly should have been a DQ on Ciryl Gane, right? I mean,
it shouldn't have been a no contest.
It shouldn't have been a no contest. It should have been he should have lost that because they lost from a foul, right?
Exactly.
So a couple more things before we can change the subject here. I was thinking that the 10-9 system that we have, the 10-8 system, comes from boxing. And it's a lot easier to do this kind of scoring with boxing when all you're worrying about is knockdowns and punches, right?
Right,
MMA,
right.
it's so much more dynamic. There's wrestling, submissions, right? How do you like score that, right? And with this 10-9 system, it's just objectively impossible to do it holistically. I believe like we should have a system, maybe even something similar to like basketball or like the PFL even has a scoring system where rather than, doing a 10-9, they just score like they'll do like points, right? So if you get like a heavy kick or you do damage, you get like a certain amount of points, right? And now I'm just adding stuff on like for my own self, but imagining like if you get a takedown, you get an X amount of points. You try to do a submission and you almost sink it in, you get a certain amount of points. If you get a foul, then like let's say the other person loses points. Maybe we could do something more dynamic like that with MMA, where the scoring reflects our sport and we're not just taking some outdated system. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that's what
agree.
I
I
think.
mean,
Go ahead. Sorry.
there have been a lot of like inconsistent decision victories I've noticed the past handful of years. So like, revamping the way that you like, I don't know, the rubric for like how you score a fight. I do think that's something that should be updated and can be updated relatively easily. Something else I just thought of is like only way you're going to get anyone to get on the same page is for the UFC not to be an independent contractor based, system. I think, with this, big money deal from Paramount coming in, I think the fighters need to unionize and they need to get together and be like, hey, listen up. We're not going to fight until we get a more clear set of rules and how they're enforced. And then the refs need to get together. They need to, understand. I mean, I know that they already do get together and they get, they practice officiating. They watch tape and everything, but they need to get on the same page because it's so inconsistent from ref to ref. And so the refs need to get together and unionize. The fighters need to get together and unionize. They need to, converse with each other and find a solution to this. The only problem is the UFC doesn't want to do that because then they're going to be liable for paying at least a portion of the medical bills of these fighters. And, they're going to have to provide benefits after the fact. If they've fought a certain amount of time in the UFC, they're, able to get extended health care when they retire. So UFC for too long has gotten away with, being cheap and not paying the guys the money. I mean, not just guys, all the fighters. They're not paying the fighters what they're worth. And, they're bringing in so much money. They just got $1 billion deal done with Paramount. I think something can be done about this. The fighters need to unionize. I think it's, point blank. That's all that needs to be done. And that's where it starts, and it'll evolve from there in terms of making a better sports product, not just a gladiator match.
Dude, I mean, I think you just brought up such an excellent point, and it really gets down to the root cause of all this. We want to treat the UFC like a real sport, but it's times like this where we realize it's just not there yet, right? Like these guys, the competition level and like just the people involved, like yes, you have top level athletes, it's a huge growing sport, but just basic things like a union for the athletes is not being addressed. Like fighter protection, fighter safety, cheating, all of this stuff, it's like kind of coming to a boiling point, I think. Like the UFC was like, we've seen it grow to such a huge degree, and as fans, we appreciate it. But all those underlying problems that have been there that the UFC, it feels like it's kind of just been pressing down, right? They've been just so focused on expanding that these underlying root issues are just, showing their ugly head now, after just being compressed and compressed and compressed. It's like these eye pokes have been such a huge problem, and the UFC is just like, oh, we'll fix it later, we'll fix it later, that it manifested itself in one of the most important fights of their timeline, the heavyweight
Exactly.
championship, right? And now they're playing catch up. So another point with the money and the unionizing, Gabe, and I think this is where we can move on, is the gambling, right? We have a very, serious gambling scandal on our hands. Today, actually, the FBI visited the UFC top brass to ask and investigate. Um, Very interesting and weird situation going on here. The fighter is named Isaac Dolgarian. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And Gabe, maybe you can
You know
help
what,
fill us
Juho?
in a little bit on this.
Real quick, I don't mean to interrupt you. I wanted to say this also about the whole unionizing thing. I think
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
will make it more clear how much fighters should earn based on star power, based on, we're moving on from the pay-per-view model very soon and everything. And you're going to be able to retain the fighters because they're going to feel like they're paid what they're worth because it's an agreed upon value, right? Like in the NBA, they have the supermax contracts based on accolades. Like if you have a certain amount of knockouts, if you have a certain amount of ranked fight wins, for example, that can be equivalent to like making all-star teams, making defensive player of the year teams, making all NBA teams. And that'll like help the UFC more clearly determine how much to pay each fighter, because there's been an issue in the past with the UFC in terms of keeping their stars because they feel like they're worth more and they move on to different organizations. We all know what happened with Ronda Rousey. She became, one of the biggest stars in the UFC. She revolutionized women's fighting, women's MMA as a whole. She had all these people on her back after the Holly Holm loss, and she was like, you know what, I'm tired of this. I made this sport grow in popularity so much, and they're not appreciating me. They're not paying me what I'm worth. I'm going to go to the WWE. You can look at Brock Lesnar, too. I mean, same situation. You can look at Francis Ngannou, who could never get a agreed upon amount of money to get him to stay with the UFC. He decided to go to boxing. So unionizing will help get the players or the fighters in the organization on track so they feel like Conor McGregor, too, right? He was getting crazy amounts of money. But like this will help them feel like more secure, and they're not going to, like, the lower ranked fighters aren't going to look at the Conor McGregors and be like, why does he get so much money and I don't get enough money? So that was my last comment.
I didn't think about that at all. Very good point. And it kind of, everything you're saying, it also reminds me like MMA, I feel like borrows too much of their ideas from boxing. Like they model too much of like their like structure on boxing. And so you're seeing the ugly parts of boxing come out too, where it's like becoming top heavy, right? Like I would love to see MMA independently move from boxing completely. Like, hey, we're not going to use your scoring system. We're a totally different sport. We're gonna, revamp everything, and we're gonna shoot up while boxing's gonna shoot down. Because already boxing is a joke. I'm just gonna say it right now. It's a total joke. Nobody cares. Like, especially like compared to MMA, it's just all just what do you call it? Novelty circus fights now that are the big attention grabbers. Nobody cares about the boxers that actually deserve merit, like the Bivol and the Better Bievs of the world. Those fights no one cares about. Everyone cares about Gervonta and Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Like who cares? Like you're seeing all these boxers from the glory days back when boxing was big. There's no big boxers anymore. The Crawford Canelo fight was so boring. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that with the unionizing, it's just the smartest move for everybody. And honestly, like I think you're right. Like even Tom Aspinall's like talking about leaving. He wants to finish out his contract and go to boxing, is what he said. So, it's just
it's safer.
Yeah,
The way that they're currently officiating, it's safer if he goes to boxing so he can keep his eyes, bro. I mean, it shouldn't be this complicated.
And honestly, like I'm just so fed up with like Dana White, honestly, and just like how little it seems like he cares about the UFC as the CEO. He's like getting into boxing and power slap now. Like I would like to see the UFC move in a better direction. But again, let's go on to like another big part of the news, which is Isaac Dulgarian, big gambling scandal. This guy like is supposedly under investigation for throwing a fight right before it happened, an hour before it happened. Multiple betting apps like had the odds changed drastically. He came out and he said he's apparently supposed to be a very good high level fighter, and he just basically threw that round, completely lost. All the commentators were extremely surprised as everyone else, like about how bad he did. Right after the fight, he gets cut from the UFC. And now it turns out that all these other fighters are, also chirping in on the situation. A lot of fighters anonymously have apparently told Ariel Helwani that they've been approached through fights too. I feel like we're seeing like something about to go down. Like we're seeing the beginnings of some crazy scandal. We're seeing this not only in MMA though. We just saw this massive gambling bust happen in the NBA, actually probably a lot bigger than the MMA. But just in general, I feel like sports gambling and corruption are just getting completely out of hand.
Guys, I don't know if you know this. I know we don't really talk about NFL a lot, but there's actually they're actually investigating the NFL as well. Like there was a whole thing where they were investigating the Chiefs, and like they were watching footage, investigating footage of like refs like intervening, and like 9 times out of 10, they were doing their intervention to help the Chiefs in some way. And
Jeez,
it's not over like a couple games. It's over years. So I mean,
it's just so crazy. Like
this is happening in every sport.
you'd expect this in MMA where the fighters are getting paid pennies, like because like apparently in MMA, like Isaac Delgarian, nobody knows him. These like fights that are apparently being thrown, these fighters are the ones that are getting targeted aren't the top level guys. It's mostly these low level guys who are desperate, who are making $30,000 a fight, like you know what I mean, and they're barely making anything after taxes and paying their coaches and everything, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of
Um,
times they're making less than 30 grand. I mean, I think the most basic contract, the most common contract you see for a UFC fighter is a 12 and 12, where it's 12,000 to show up for the fight, 12,000 to win the fight, and they have these $50,000 bonuses with the performance of the night and the fight of the night that, you know, they try to incentivize these lower level guys to go for those. But, you know, if you don't have the star power, if you have an off night and you've been training for, let's just say 3.5 months for a fight, you know, you have to pay for nutrition, you have to pay for your coaching, you have to pay for your housing, you have to pay for your family potentially if you do have one. I mean, you know, it's a luxury to have a family, and if you're fighting as a professional athlete, you want to at least be able to live a simple life.
yeah,
And at this point in the UFC, that doesn't exist. So I mean, I'm
but
not sure
I
exactly
agree with.
how do you. But yeah, I mean, like
Sorry, go ahead.
with the whole betting thing, I think it's so strange that all of these, you know, pro sports organizations are promoting gambling so much, and different, you know, leagues, if they find out that a player is associated with some kind of bet or insider trading or anything like that, they have different approaches to how they penalize the athlete. For the NFL, I believe it's something strange. Like I don't remember the exact guy's name, but I think last season there was a guy who got busted for giving his friend information, who then put a large amount of money on him for whatever stat it was, and he got suspended like 1 game, and then it ended up being pushed to 6 games. But it's not like a clear set of rules. It's like a minimum like 1 to 6 games, and then you could potentially return within the season. But then the NBA with the whole Porter thing that we mentioned, Michael Porter Jr.'s brother, that was in the first half of our show with basketball. He got like indefinitely banned from the NBA, and there's been, you know, like the I think the Boston White Sox or whatever in baseball, like they're like historic for intentionally throwing like the World Series. So like this is not new, but it's getting more common because of how much these organizations are promoting betting
Yeah, I'll tell
across
you what is
their
new. This amount
broadcasts.
of micro betting. Micro betting is just like a whole new like can of worms that the world has opened itself up to in America. Um, I mean, you can literally get like 5 different apps and you can bet on all of them. Even if you're under 21, you can like get apps like Fliff where they give you like Fliff cash so they can get around the whole like, oh, like we're not actually using money, but then you can buy Fliff cash for money in the app. So like you have different apps that like they're just I mean you can bet on like world events now. It's not even like uh you know sports related. Like you can bet like is Taylor Swift gonna be shown 7 or more times like in the Super Bowl? You could bet on that. You know what I mean? Like a
Right,
lot of
right.
this doesn't even have to do on sports. And I mean I wanted to bring this point up. It's again MMA the pay is so garbage, but you have guys like Terry Rozier who's making literal generational wealth. Like, why would he ever need to gamble and put his like entire career at risk when he's already making so much money, right? And I think that gets to the root of the problem. And we were talking about this with Nick on the last segment. You just need to make the punishments incredibly harsh, right? Like
And
you
I
just need
think
to make the punishments so harsh.
part of the issue is like Terry Rozier wasn't the guy doing the betting. He was just giving information to someone else who would then benefit from him getting the extra information. So it's like, what do you do there? Because that's a fine line. It's like, can a guy, you know, call up his friend and be like, hey man, my ankle's hurting. I'm hoping I'm going to play. I'm on the questionable list for tonight's game. Not sure if I'm going to get in or not. Just having a regular old conversation. And then that friend doesn't even tell the athlete, like, oh, thanks for the tip, man. I'm going to make some good money on you performing poorly tonight or not showing up at all. So it's like, how do you determine that? I mean, it's such a gray area right
You gotta
now.
not have it, but it's too late now. That's the problem.
Right.
You just basically have to never have that situation happen. That's why for a long time you couldn't bet on sports like that, right? Like for a long time you weren't allowed to do that. The only sport really that had prizes was boxing. So they're called prize fighters, and like horse racing, right? Like though and like that and those sports were so corrupt that the government had to get involved and create regulations and commissions, right? So now you're having all of these other big sports having betting, and like you're seeing the corruption start, and it's just never going to stop. So yeah, maybe you're right. Like I don't even know if these draconian laws will work, because like in those cases like that where Terry Rozier just had a conversation, like how do you like send a man to jail for that, right? I don't think you can. It's a slippery slope.
Right.
So I don't know, man. It's a good question. I feel like they shot themselves in the foot. I keep hearing, I don't know too much about it, but I keep hearing like Adam Silver's like one of the worst commissioners of all time. Something about that, but I don't know if that's true or not. But the NBA has to
I
do
don't
better,
know.
man. And
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can say he's like the worst commissioner of all time, but like he is not as strict as other sports commissioners have been. I think Adam Silver is more of a creative type of commissioner instead of like the warden that enforces all the rules and keeps everybody in line and like whips you into shape. It's like bad, bad. Go to your corner. You're in trouble. You're in timeout. He's not that guy.
yeah,
He's like, oh man, that you can't be doing that, man. I mean, come on, man.
yeah.
Like he's more that type of guy. So I don't
I
know.
want
Like
to
I don't.
suck your blood. Sorry.
Yeah, good Nosferatu over there, man. But yeah, I don't know. I don't. How do you fix this? How do you fix this? I mean, I think you need more. Maybe it's just more strict on a state basis, like state by state basis. Maybe they need to just look into this and be like, okay, you know what? We're just not going to allow it in our state. Like, I think that's probably the biggest extent that you can go, because like more and more states have been letting prop bets be legalized, not like specific bets. Those still aren't legalized across the majority of the U.S. But maybe just they're going to start reverting back to no more sports betting in certain places. I mean, Nevada with Vegas and everything in Reno. I don't think that's sports betting is there to stay, and it's been there for a while. So I don't know. It depends on where you go. Maybe just have less sports teams in the states where betting is legal. I
But
don't
the
know what
problem
to
is
tell
that
you.
you could just bet. You could just get a VPN or like a proxy and just bet in that state. Like that's the problem, you know.
Right. I mean, again, there's no fix to this,
There's
but
no
like
fix. There is no
there's
fix.
remedies, I guess.
Yeah, I think that either have to ban it outright or like, I think the biggest thing is just like make the penalties insane. So like, don't even try. Like, because if they told Terry Rozier like, hey, you tell even your friends about like what's going on, you're not gonna have a job. Then he probably would take a second thought about telling his friend anything. Right? It's
Here,
not even worth
I
it.
have something
And
I want to talk about. Maybe it could be a potential solution. I don't know. Y'all can tell me what you think, but here's like my suggestion. Like, Joe, you said that if they make it state by state, they can use a VPN to do it digitally. What if to alleviate all
just
this
verify your
corruption
ID.
and everything, you have to go to a place in person in order to bet. And if you can't get there, it sucks to suck, but you can't bet over the phone. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Or maybe just like certain money limits. Like if you're betting over $10,000, you have to go in person to a casino and do it. And casinos are only legal in certain
Oh.
states.
I like that 1-2 punch by the Caviani Bros right there, actually. Because I was gonna say, like, the one argument against Nick is like, these apps are never gonna allow like they have so many lawyers, they'll never allow to get themselves banned outright, right? Where they're making too much money, the government's making too much money off of them. But I do like what Gabe was saying was, hey, maybe you can make like 5, 10, $30 bets on the phone, but you get to even like a couple hundred, maybe even like that amount, you got to go somewhere and do that, right? Like,
Or
yeah, sure, you
maybe
can have fun on the app and make a little bit of money, but if you're making big bets, you got to go to a certain location and get that done.
or maybe even like for specific types of bets, like parlays that I brought up before. If it's like a really like risky parlay where it's like, for example, you bet $1 and you would make $111, maybe for like that kind of multiplier, that risky of a bet, you have to like confirm your bet with like an ID verification or something. I don't know.
Hmm.
Riskier bets, or maybe that's less realistic, but I think like above an X amount of dollars, like I think $10,000 Above that is like you have to go in person at a casino, and they're gonna make sure you're like mentally sane.
Yeah, I 100% agreed. And honestly, like just in conclusion, y'all just be very careful gambling and all that stuff. And it's a serious addiction. It's clearly like a huge problem. And um, I mean, I think it's all in good fun if you do it for, here and there. And I'm not judging anyone for doing it, obviously. Like, it is fun and like it is a big part of MMA. So I
You know
just
what?
think that
How about a betting license, like a gun
okay.
license, like a license to carry?
Yeah,
I don't
I
know,
don't know.
man.
There
I mean,
just needs to be
there's
more
things that can be done,
regulations. Yeah, something
and
needs
also
to change.
like you can't like
Let's be
expect
careful, y'all.
you can't expect an athlete to not talk to people who are outside of sports. Like everyone has family and friends that they
Yeah,
talk to. It's like
yeah.
this whole like insider information where it's like, hey man, my ankle hurts, but I'm feeling strong. I think I'm going to play, but maybe I'm not going to play my best. I'm going to do my best. Hope you're rooting for me. And that guy goes and bets money on you and tells like an organized group of gamblers, okay, we're going to make a lot of money off this guy. Like it's unrealistic to have that initial contact with someone that you're
It's
associated
just
with.
too much of a
Like,
gray area. I
gone.
totally agree. I totally agree. It's too much of a gray area, and like you can't, and there's not enough proof, and there's too much hearsay in general.
Right.
So I just think this is a quagmire of a situation, and gambling, and this is the problem with it. It's a can of worms, you know. As soon as money gets involved outside, like it's gonna get ugly. It just is. It's just human nature. And that's why like it's better to keep sports clean. I think a lot of people thought like, hey, if we just pay these athletes a crap ton of money, like they won't be affected, but clearly isn't working. So,
Right.
guys, thank you so much for listening to our segment today. Do y'all have anything else you want to add before we wrap this up?
Oh, I just wanted to point out how the UFC finally listened to the fans. Bo Nickel got removed from the main card at UFC
Oh,
322,
thank
ladies and
God,
gentlemen.
yes.
Leon
Oh my
Edwards and
God.
Carlos Prates got moved up to the main card. How the hell was Bo Nickel above that fight in the first place? That's
That's
wild.
insane. Yeah, that's
But
insane.
anyways, guys, Bo Nickel moved to the prelims. Let's go. That's a
Thank
huge
God. And you
victory
know
for
what?
the
He's going
fans.
against adult Rodolfo Vieira, who's like really good. So hopefully he just gets washed by him too. And we don't have to hear Bros Nichols' name again.
But anyways, guys, UFC 322 is going to be fantastic. Tune in next episode. We're going to deep dive on that card, top to bottom. There's so many good fights. Islam Makhachev welterweight debut against Jack Della. That's going to be a fantastic fight. Y'all tune in next time. Obviously, like, comment, and subscribe if you like all things basketball and MMA. Let us know what you think about the gambling scandals. What should the UFC
Yeah,
do
what would you
about
guys
illegal
do?
blows? Like, yeah, exactly. I don't know. What do you guys think? Because obviously we're not experts. We're just, we're armchair experts. We're big sports fans. We're just here to shoot the shit. And we hope y'all have a good time. Listen to us.
All right, see y'all on the flip side.
Hey guys, wait, before we go,
Forget to shoot
Juho,
for it.
is there anything you wanted to talk about this past weekend's UFC event? Was it anything? Was there anything to talk about it?
We kind of did already. I mean, not much.
Alrighty.
Dude,
Actually,
these Apex cards are garbage. The only one I wanted to mention was the Costa Delia fight because the eye poke. But wait, no, I
I
did want to
forgot
mention
about
something.
the Dante Johnson guy. Is that his name?
Yeah. The he was like 5'9" fighting heavyweight.
Yeah.
But
5'8"
more than him,
dude.
more important than him, we had a Korean win on the card. Shout out to my boy Seokhyun Kyo or Ko Seokhyun. Let's go, dominating. He's gonna fight a ranked guy next. Y'all watch him on the come up. Obviously this card sucked objectively, but for me, the Koreans are on, and I had to watch. So other prospect Chang Lee lost. Whatever. At least we got that welterweight. We got that welterweight Korean hope, baby.
But yeah, I mean,
Is that
I
what
guess
you're talking about, Nick?
I guess the very last thing I want to talk about was this Dante Johnson guy who made his first UFC appearance on the Dana White Contender Series, where he was 5'8", fighting at heavyweight. He was only 209 pounds. We talked about the
Crazy.
other guy who was 235 pounds being a light heavyweight.
Yeah.
That's a definition of a light heavyweight. That's pretty much as small as you can get.
Yeah.
And he's 5'8", so
He was even
ended up
smaller
dropping
than
2
Chris
weight
Barnett
classes.
somehow.
Yeah, that's crazy. So he dropped 2 weight classes to go down to middleweight. He fought Cedricus Dumas, and Dumas was a guy we talked about him a couple episodes ago. He got nut checked really bad and looked like he might have had a ball removed or his ball was exploded or something. He ended up being okay. Something bad. And he won the fight, and he's a very class act guy. I liked his interview in the post fight, but it was such a spectacle of him being 5'8" at heavyweight. So he belongs at middleweight, and
and he won by
like
submission, which is crazy.
Yeah,
like he was known to be like a first round knockout or somehow won by submission. So
anyways, that was interesting. I don't know. I think that's
Yeah.
about it, though. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe. Let us know what you think.
Thanks for reminding me, Nick. I will talk to you guys, and please look forward to the NBA MMA segments coming up. We have a lot of fun UFC cards and NBA news, guys. I mean, we got to talk about the MVP race because it's heating up. So
Things are heating up.
all right, guys. Great episode. Talk to y'all soon.
Shoot.